He's been part of our cultural landscape since the 1980s with his work with the Comic Strip Presents and the Young Ones. Since then, he's made countless TV and film appearances, written books, audio dramas and music, as well as a recent podcast reacquainting us with his actor alter ego Nicholas Craig. But does he know his supercar from his Scarlet? It's Nigel Planer! Now, Nigel, last time we met, you were wearing a big walrus moustache.
Well, I was sporting
yes.
a walrus moustache. It was real. It wasn't a stick-on.
That's right.
Spent weeks growing it.
It's very effective.
It was right out to there.
It was lovely. Big old handlebar.
I enjoyed having that. My wife didn't enjoy having me with a big moustache, but I did.
And I was dressed as a nurse.
You were a nurse, among other roles, were you not?
I was the gravedigger. And
gravedigger, that was
this was a production of Grandpa's Great Escape.
That's right.
David
in Stadia, like in Wembley and places like
Glasgow,
that.
Newcastle, extraordinary.
Yeah.
Welcome to Slough.
It's just a pleasure to be here.
What can I say? You're welcome to
it.
Did you notice Station Jim on your way here?
Station Jim? What's that?
Station Jim is a dog at the railway station who, in the late 1800s, would cruise around the platforms with a collection box around his neck, collecting money for charity. And he's since been stuffed and preserved in a case on platform 5.
No, I didn't notice that.
Have a look on your way home.
Platform 5.
That's it.
Station Jim. No, I didn't.
I didn't. There. Every day's a school day. Now, Nigel, actor, author, playwright, musician, I could go on. How do you see yourself?
I try not to look, really. I just try and keep interested in things. I think it's really important to stay interested in things. Yeah. And I seem to have done an awful lot of things. Probably not, people who concentrate on one thing tend to get really, really good at it, don't they?
Uh-huh.
And if there's anything wrong with my approach, it's that you're never really the expert in anything.
But it sustained a very eclectic career from the outside, at least. It looks that way.
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, I've got sort of quick ability to pick up the early stages of stuff.
Uh-huh. You're canny.
I'm canny like that, but I got to like with languages, I'm quite good at picking up the early stages. Uh-huh. But to get really fluent in a language, I'm learning. I try and learn that. At the moment, I'm learning Spanish, but I've learned other languages in the past. Yeah. And the first year, I feel, hey, I'm good at this because I get an accent and I'm fluent. But then to actually know the grammar and really do the study, I kind of.
So that's when you move on to another language.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's start bang up to date. You're here with us in July. I think we're only about 3 or 4 weeks after the launch of your latest book.
Yes.
Which we have here, Jeremiah Bourne in Time, by Nigel Planer. Tell us a little bit about this.
It's a sort of comedy, sci-fi, historical, futuristic. I'm not very good at the genres of stuff, so I just shoved in as many genres as I could. Yeah. It's time travel. It's set in the same place because it's time but not space. Uh-huh. So it's like if we were here, we're on the 9th floor. So if we went back 100 years, we would plummet to our deaths.
Yes.
Because this building wasn't here.
Wouldn't make much of a book, would it? I don't think.
No, not that.
Yeah.
But it's set in the same area of London, near where I live, southeast London, Blackfriars and SE1. And Jeremiah finds he has the ability, he can't understand it, to go back 100 years. He goes back to 1910 in the same house. And then we also have scenes in 100 years' time, 21, 23, in that same house. And there is a link. There's a reason behind it all.
Yeah,
which he has to find.
I see.
The future is quite fun. I enjoyed writing the future bits.
Oh, interesting.
Because I imagined a time when there was a digital meltdown, and it all starts with a man called Geoffrey Pritchard,
Uh-huh.
who goes into a pub in Bermondsey to try and order, this is in maybe 20 years' time,
Yeah.
to order a beer.
Yeah.
So he gets out his mobile device and goes through the usual security settings, credit check, do I want cookies, menu choices, ID
Yes.
check, and eventually gets to click a pint of beer, please, yes. And Geoffrey Pritchard's final click is the final click.
Oh.
When the entire data of the human race disappears. he tips us into oblivion.
Oh, okay.
With this one thing. There's just too much data, and we lose all our data. So I imagined a future where we've lost all data.
Wow.
Which is great fun to imagine, because memory becomes important again.
Uh-huh.
Jeremiah Bourne's mum is a London taxi driver who have super memories because they've done the knowledge, and they have a massive memory. And the device of inherited memory becomes the mode of time travel.
I see. Right.
Like, I don't know did you see that thing on Twitter recently, the beaver?
No, I did not.
There was a little beaver that had been brought up, saved, didn't go to its nest, never met another beaver, never saw a river, been brought up in a flat. Yeah. And the first thing it did when it could walk was build a dam.
Yeah.
And it knew how to build a dam, which is something called morphic resonance. It could be called morphic resonance, like an inherited memory. And I was fascinated by that idea. And perhaps we remember more than we're aware of.
Well, it's interesting you should say that. So we've spoken about memory, and we've also spoken about ideas of the future.
Yeah.
So, Nigel Planer, we're going to play a little game with you just to test your Anderson credentials. We're going to play you very brief clips of the opening titles of pretty much all of Gerry Anderson's TV series.
Right.
And I want you to tell me, shout out when you know, which of these you remember.
How quick are the clips, though?
You'll see. Pretty quick.
Twizzle.
Oh, no. Well done. Good start.
Fireball XL. No. Four Feather Falls?
Yes, very good. Okay.
Supercar.
Nice. It's all coming back.
It is.
Stand by
No.
for action.
Oh, this is
Too late.
Thunderbirds.
That's Thunderbirds.
Oh, Stingray would have been in the water.
It.
Yeah.
Very quick one there. Did you miss that?
I missed that. Ooh. No, that you lost me with that one.
Well, we're going live action now.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Napoleon Solo. That was it.
Close.
This is an emergency.
Crikey, you lost me there with that one. And that.
We're almost there now. We're coming up to the 1990s.
Right.
Place of legend. Fabled right
Probably beyond
across
your
the
time now.
years.
Yes, I mean, I was
Yeah.
the 60s.
Yeah.
I would have been watching all this.
There we
stuff.
go. Well
Isn't that
done.
funny? The
Very
later
good.
stuff
Yes.
was sort of beyond me.
Exactly. So well done, Nigel. Now, I think you've got 6 there, which isn't bad.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm going to just write your score here on this rather fetching little image of you.
Me as a Thunderbird.
Exactly. Just what you always wanted.
Yeah.
And I'll just place you there for the rest of the interview. Why
The
not?
thing that surprised me there was Twizzle,
Right.
because that word has not come out of my mouth
Isn't it funny?
for about
Yeah.
60 years. And I saw the picture and it went, oh, Twizzle.
Right. Yeah.
I hadn't even
Yeah.
thought of that.
So-
So that's something way back into your
Yeah.
childhood.
Absolutely. Very often we find with our guests that it's the music that trips that memory.
the
But you're saying
music,
quite
yeah.
specifically that it was the
I was
the
able to
image.
sing one of them,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what the series was.
Yeah, great. So, now which of those series do you actually kind of actively remember?
Well, obviously Thunderbirds,
Yeah.
Supercar,
Yeah.
Stingray,
Yeah.
Four Feather Falls,
Right.
Twizzle.
Yeah, bizarrely.
Yes.
Do you remember anything more than that opening sequence, though? Do you remember anything of the premise?
Didn't he have a twisty neck? And
That's right.
Was he the one with the long arms?
That's it, yeah.
Yes,
It's quite nightmarish, isn't it?
Yes, it was quite sort of gruesome.
You wouldn't make it now.
No. Twizzle. Didn't it go like that?
Something like that.
Sometimes the little catchphrase tunes or the jingles are it's terrifying, isn't it? What goes on in your mind
and stays there for life.
Yeah,
That's right. Okay, great. So now let's move on then to and you touched on it there, your first Anderson memory. So let's take a look at what young Nigel Planer was watching back in 1960, I think. Let's have a look at this.
Oh my gosh.
We come a pretty long way. Funny, we ain't seen no sign of Harkenbacker yet.
Maybe we missed him.
Ain't possible.
Tex, old chap, I hate to mention this, but have you noticed the signpost?
Hey, yeah. It's been moved.
You're darn right, Rocky.
And look, there's been a buggy past here. You can see the tracks. Come on, fellas.
There we go. Very, very quick clip from Four Feather
Falls.
Yeah. So we had a very short email exchange about this, and there was something rather specific that you remembered about Tex Tucker in particular.
Tex Tucker, at one point, you obviously haven't found that, but he said, shall we go down that road? And he said, no, we daren't. And that made us laugh because we daren't.
Yeah, that's right.
2 syllables.
Yeah.
And it turned into like a catchphrase with me and my younger brother.
Right.
Shall we go there? No, we daren't.
Nice.
We daren't go.
It's very sweet because, of course, now Nicholas Parsons was Tex Tucker. I don't know if you know that.
No,
Yes,
really? Was he?
Yes.
Wow.
And just recently, we uncovered an unproduced script for Four Feather Falls that was written by Nicholas Parsons himself. It was never produced, but we had a sort of something of a performance at a convention in Leicester a couple of weeks ago. And within that, we've also read out the stage directions, of course. And there was a similar phrase which really struck me as being quite charming and old-fashioned. He spoke about the dog, and it said he barks as much as to say, thank you very much.
As much as to
say. Just that phrase seemed really quite charming.
Lovely.
So it's interesting you picked up something there from the dialogue.
Yeah.
Is there anything specifically that you remember about that show? Any of the other characters or so on? We saw there Dusty the dog and
Rocky the horse in that title sequence. He talks all posh and English, and he did just then. And cut back to Tex, who says he's a thoroughbred. So it's a joke.
Yeah, there you go.
And yes, I love the sort of the butler character, isn't it? It's like the English butler that all American shows have. You've got to have this the English butler. So the horse, I remember.
Now, cowboys and Indians, as we used to call them, or westerns. They were a mainstay of popular entertainment in the sort of 40s, 50s, and 60s, both at cinema and then on television. But what was young Nigel interested in around that time?
Knights in Armour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that something that's stayed with you as well?
Plastic sword fights, which I usually won against my younger brother because he didn't stand a chance. It's terrible what I made him go through.
Yes.
And plastic helmets. It sort of stuck with me. The interest in history. Medieval history at that age. But Knights in Armour.
And you sort of hit television as a viewer at just the right time. I think by 1964, 90% of UK families had a television. So they were pretty ubiquitous.
I can remember the first telly being called in. I was playing in the garden. We've got a telly.
Right.
So come running in. It was a Bush
with
the Bakelite knobs.
Yeah.
I don't know what year that would have been. I would have been under 8 because we moved house.
Okay.
So it would have been 53, 60. I was born in 53, so it would have been 60, 61, 62.
So around about the time that you would have been watching Four Feather Falls, I guess. Can you remember what else you were watching on this new television set?
I can remember hiding behind the sofa. There was something called The Red Grass, which was sort of thriller horrible about a kind of grass that would take over and grab you.
Right.
People would get infected by the virus of this red grass, and my elder brother was allowed to watch it, and I wasn't meant to watch it. And I snuck in while my mum was cooking supper, I think, and thought, well, I'm going to watch this thing, and it scared the jeepers out of me. And it gave me nightmares for ages.
Right.
This idea that this red grass would sting you and then get in you and infect you.
There's something about a young mind that's so impressionable.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine, or think of anything that I've experienced in the last 20 years that would stay with me for the rest of my life as much as something I saw 50 years ago has stayed with me.
That's right. That's right. It stays with you kind of whether you like it or not, in a way.
Yeah.
And
that's right. And of course, at this time, the world was getting excited about the space race. Landing on the moon was a mere sort of 9 years away from Four Feather Falls. And of course, Gerry Anderson then excelled in his visions of the future, the likes of Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet and so on. So how aware of you, I guess you would be in your teens now, of the space race?
Well, saw the moon landing. I remember watching that on telly. That's like a family event.
Yes.
You go and sit and watch that.
Yeah.
And they're
walking like puppets on the moon.
Yeah, walking like puppets on the moon. I can remember that. Yes.
Yeah. And
but we were scared as well of the Cold War as well at the time. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about building bunkers and nuclear devastation.
Yes.
When I was a teenager and early teenagers, and the whole thing seemed to be, the space race was between Russia and America.
Yeah.
Yuri Gagarin, the first one up there. Remember that as well.
Yeah.
And there's a great album by Donald Fagen from Steely Dan called Nightfly, which is all set in his remembered childhood,
right,
in America.
Yeah.
And there's lots of songs. He's writing with maturity, but he's writing as if he's put himself back into those years.
Yeah.
It's quite cynical and funny, but it's brilliant songs.
Interesting you mentioned the Cold War there and sort of the fear of the other, because I think that was sort of began to be expressed also in Gerry Anderson's work when we get to the likes of Captain Scarlet, who's standing behind you, and Captain Black and the Mysterons. This existential threat to the human race is kind of an expression or manifestation of exactly, I think, what you've described there.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you went to school, I read, with Stephen Polyakov, is that right?
The playwright
Yeah.
and director. Yes, I did. We it was great he was already there when I got there, and it was great to find someone who had my same interests as me.
Sure. And so looking back, do you get an impression that there were certain people that you met along the way that were kind of linchpins in your career or in the way your life then developed?
Yes, because it must be the same for anybody. If you've got an interest in something, you immediately latch onto the person who's, especially because we didn't have internet. So if you were into a certain type of music, if you read about the early days of the Rolling Stones or whatever, it was really important to meet someone who said, well, I've heard of a blues album that and so meeting someone who was into a theatre and who knew the same stuff that I knew.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Yes.
Because that's how you would find out. I was thinking about this recently. How did we find out? I bought things when they first came out.
Yeah.
How did I know?
Yeah. Fanzines, magazines, I don't know.
Was it
posters?
I figured it was little things outside the record shop, or
flyers.
outside the bookshop, flyers,
Yeah.
and flyers that were distributed. Right. But how did we find stuff out before the internet?
That's right.
But we did.
We did. Yeah, that's true. And also, why did we used to have to wait for so long to get things? I remember having to go to order records.
Yes.
And now you hear a record and you press a button and it's on your phone.
Yeah.
I say hear a record, of course, that's dating me. So what was in store for young Nigel Planer at that point? Did you have any plans? Did your family have hopes or expectations for you?
Well, yes, those are two different things.
Right,
what the family thought and what I thought.
Okay.
Yes, I was pretty much into doing what I do now from a pretty much early age, which is acting, trying to be funny.
Yeah.
And writing. When I was at school, we did they wouldn't let us into the school plays and the school magazine. We'd make our own satirical magazine, and we made our own plays. Polyakov and I, we wrote plays. We put them on. We acted. We direct. I was sort of doing alternative comedy, as it were, right from an early age. Joined the local amateur dramatics, and we set up a theatre workshop for younger people. So we were doing Angelico's Sport of My Mad Mother, which is pretty was something that had been on at the Royal Court, was quite radical and sort of like a punk play before its time. And we put that on at the local Amateur Dramatic Society, the young people. So
Great.
Not much has changed really from about the age of 8.
Sure. You were set in stone at quite a young.
Yeah, I'm lucky like that, I think, because if you're young and you just think that's what I do, that's what I want to do, that's quite lucky. To know what'll do the trick for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people don't have that.
Now, one of the joys of doing our interviews for these video podcasts is that we actually have the opportunity for our listeners and viewers to send in questions for our guests. So I would like to ask you, Nigel Planer, to dive into this rather lovely Space 1999 lunchbox.
Right. Will they all be testing my knowledge of the Thunderbirds
Not all
series,
of them.
which may not be as sort of comprehensive as it should be?
Well, let's find out. Pop your hand in there and take a question from one of our viewers. And the winner is?
Oops. Oh, blimey, right.
Yeah.
Which series would you like to write an episode for? It's from Matthew Mayhew.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Which series would you like to write an episode for? In fact, I did write an episode for this series, and they didn't want it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
is there an NDA on this information, or are you?
No. It was Doctor Who.
Was it?
I wrote, before I'd written Jeremiah Bourne Time Travel. I did a Doctor Who show again, like in Stadia, like we did at Wembley and stuff.
Yes.
I played Vorgenson, the son of Vorgen,
of course,
who captures
Icelandic, was he,
the
then?
Doctor. I don't know where he's from, but he captures the Doctor as a hologram, and he's a baddie. But you don't realise he's a baddie until the halfway through. All the other cast were playing monsters, and I got to play. I had a big laser glove.
Great.
That I could destroy people with. Oh, it was great. Absolutely loved doing that. And I met Murray Gold, who wrote the music.
Yeah.
I got to do dialogue with Matt Smith.
Oh, yeah.
He'd already pre-recorded, so I had to time myself exactly with Matt. And I got quite into the whole Doctor Who thing, the ethic of it.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a story that I thought would be great, not really taking into account how much Doctor Who's become in many different ages, and there's big, long relationships between various characters who return and all of that. I just wrote a story that I liked.
Yeah.
And they looked at it. I got quite a nice reader's report back saying, nice try.
Wow.
But it wasn't totally dismissive. It was kind of, this all works, but it's not for us.
Oh, okay.
But
so
I did get quite keen on the idea of writing those kind of stories.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jeremiah Bourne came before that experience, but you obviously have
Jeremiah Bourne's been
time travel
growing for a while.
Yeah.
And I wrote some versions of the book, a couple of drafts, which weren't really working early on. Yeah. And then I was working for Big Finish, doing Doctor Who audios. Was another contribution to my Doctor Who phase, which you've worked for, haven't you?
Yeah.
Big Finish, great fun.
Yeah.
And I was working for them, I think, on an H.G. Wells thing.
Yes.
And I showed them the drafts, thinking, well, what do I do with this? That it's not working as a book yet. And they said, well, we'll do a 4-hour dramatization of it, which also exists.
Ah, okay.
But it's very different from the book.
I see.
Because to do a big finish, it's got kind of music, and it's fully cast. It's got a comedy cast.
Yeah.
But they went for the more racing science fiction aspect.
Yeah.
Whereas the book that I've done is more of a comedy. It's like a Terry Pratchett-esque type thing, where the characters are funnier in the book.
Yeah.
And also the whole world of the future doesn't really exist in the audio dramatization.
Yeah.
So they're different products.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most fun things I've ever done. Working with Tim McInerney was in it, Sophie Thompson, Chris Ryan, Celia Imrie. We had just the most incredible cast.
Great.
And I got to play the baddie.
They're always fun.
Which was, more fun.
Take another question.
Oh,
from the lunchbox.
One.
Yeah.
That's it. You mean I'm not done?
You're not done yet.
Right.
We're getting value out of you
So,
today.
do you know I'm going to have to get the specs?
I thought I printed them quite large.
They are large, but not large. There we are. Oh, right. This is from Tabitha Hoop.
Oh, yes.
Who mentions the Discworld books, actually.
Yeah.
Because I did all the audio books, unabridged audios. But her question is, which one-time, even cameo role has been your favourite to portray? I asked, thinking of roles along a similar vein to Death in Paradise or even the Prime Minister in MI High.
Oh, yes, you did those, did you?
I did. I've forgotten about the Prime Minister in MI High.
Talking of cameo roles, I came across you in an episode of Sherlock Holmes, the Granada series, with Jeremy Brett playing Inspector Hopkins, I think.
Yeah, Jeremy Brett. I got to work with the great Jeremy
Lucky
Brett.
you.
And Charles Gray, who everyone in the hotel said, "Oh, you're right, Sir Charles." They thought he was a knight because he behaved like one. It was fantastic.
So which of those sort of guest roles was
cool? I don't know. I did enjoy doing Death in Paradise.
Did you go to?
I did go to
Guatemala.
Guadeloupe, and it's it would be wrong to say that was my favourite role, but it was my favourite job.
I can imagine,
because it's a wonderful gig.
Yeah,
it's a marvelous gig to do that. Cameo role. What cameo role? Do you know, I can't. I'm sorry, I've gone blank. It's very nice of Tabitha Hoop to mention Death in Paradise and the Prime Minister in MI High.
That'll do. Nice holiday in the sun on the beach and doing a bit of filming.
Yeah, no, I mean, what I like to do is roles. It's sometimes you can read a script, you must feel the same. You say, I can't see myself in this, but it's an offer, so I may do it or may not, or whatever. And some roles come up and you say, no, that's me. I can do that.
Yeah.
There's nobody else who would be more right than me.
That's right.
And they're quite rare.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter then if they're a big role or a small role.
Yeah.
It's just when the feeling's right.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to define what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Fair enough. Let's just have one more from the box and then we'll move on with some more
Sorry, Tabitha,
questions.
not to think of some other incredibly interesting thing to say. Alex Pass said, which is the more challenging, either as an actor or writer, comedy or sci-fi? P.S. Will there be Jeremiah Bourne in Time Series 2?
Oh.
So the answer to the P.S. is probably not Series 2. What I'm hoping to do is an audio book of this one, like an unabridged one that I'd read.
Yeah.
And this is the first of a trilogy. I've got the second one planned.
Right.
The third one, I'll see where I go. But I'm going to start on the second one shortly.
Fantastic.
And write the second book.
Yeah. And how long would that take? How long were you allowing yourself to
the first one took about 10 years. Yeah. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit quicker than that.
Keep them waiting. That's what I was saying.
Yes. The actual to get a first draft of, 5 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
To get the first draft.
Yeah.
And then you keep doing drafts.
Right.
But each new draft won't take that long.
Sure. Yeah.
as you know, you write a
Yeah,
whole series
indeed.
of books,
Yes,
don't you?
yes,
How long
that's
does
true.
it take you?
I can write a book in 3 months. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I have done over lockdown. I was doing, so there's not much else to do, frankly.
Yeah.
So it's
And how many do you then go back and redraft many
Yeah,
times?
not many times. No, as few as I can get away with. But,
Yeah.
It always deserves a second and perhaps a third look, I think.
And you need some trusted. I was reading Stephen King's book
Yeah.
on how he does it. He
That's
spends
it.
about 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
Then he won't do anything for a while.
Right.
Then he gives it to. He's got 3 friends, including I think his wife,
Yeah.
who he trusts to
Yeah.
give feedback.
Yeah.
And then he'll do a whole other draft based on what they say, and he really doesn't.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't just come easy to Stephen
Sure,
King. So
sure.
that gave me hope.
Absolutely right. Exactly.
And the more challenging, either as an actor or as a writer, comedy, that's the actual question,
Yeah.
which we'd better answer. Either as an actor or as a writer, comedy or sci-fi. Comedy is the thing for me. And therefore, the book is a sci-fi book, but doing both at once is the best thing.
Is the sci-fi almost incidental to the comedy, or the other way around, would you say, in that instance?
I think, like with music and comedy, you try and make them hand in hand so they don't upstage each other.
Yeah.
So that they work in tandem.
Yeah.
I think that's the game.
Yeah. All for now for our viewers' questions, but I'd like to now move on to one of my favourite characters, and I think last time we worked together, I confessed as much to you. And I've got a clip to play for you, which is it's rather appropriate to what we find ourselves talking about now. So just have a look at this.
Greetings from the 5th dimension. I come in peace, yes, but also in the interest of maintaining the very highest standards of performance. This masterclass is about the art, possibly the science, of sci-fi and outer space acting. Now, I think it's generally accepted that acting is the hardest job in the world, but it's also the hardest job in a great many other worlds besides, and indeed whole galaxies not yet discovered. The sci-fi repertoire is simply vast, and it requires the performer to tackle anything from a Time Lord to a humorous robot to a blob of alien jelly. All the more important, then, that you mine every line of text with the truth and really get under a character's skin. If you're lucky enough to have one, of course. When I played Gonarth in Riddle of the Thargans, of course, I didn't. I had a sort of scaly carapace with a striped fur head and 2 tentacles here, actually, which made every meal break a potential cosmic catastrophe.
Now, Nigel, firstly, I love Nicholas Craig. Secondly, that rather hit home because I've been there.
Yes.
So I was in Space Precinct, a Gerry Anderson show, which is really why I'm here.
Yes.
And I often tell a story about, we were in prosthetic makeup. I was playing an alien police officer.
Yeah.
And of course, at lunch, we would have a tuna sandwich. And the latex rubber would be falling away from our mouths by this point. So a little bit would fall down as you went. And then, of course, it would all be glued up after lunch to do the rest of the scenes in the afternoon. So that really hit home.
Yes. I'm a big pal of mine is Robert Llewellyn, who played Crichton in Red Dwarf. Mm-hmm. And he used to tell me, because he was in latex throughout, just moaned about it. I don't blame him. Yeah. But they used to put him in the hot summer, they'd put him in the freezer at lunch break. And he didn't have that problem because he was only allowed liquids from a straw. Once he was in the latex, that was it. So he couldn't socialise with the other. He was shoved in a freezer.
You've forgotten about
with
this.
with a milkshake. You know?
Great.
And I think it was a pretty tough job, that one, for him.
Now, one of the things I've grown to love about Nicholas Craig is that he's aging with you and he's aging with us. I know you did the podcast last year.
Yeah, that's right.
So how close under the skin is he?
Very close.
Yeah.
It's very close. It's that's my favourite thing, is to make it, is not to be sent a script, but to sort of have a character that comes from your own flaws. Mm-hmm. And Neil was that from the Young Ones, sort of based on my own experiences. Mm-hmm. And Nicholas Craig, having been to drama school and everything, but it's also Nicholas Craig's a shared project with Christopher Douglas, who is the co-writer director. He's the sort of genius behind it. Right. He plays Ed Reardon on the radio.
Okay. Yeah.
And writes it.
Yeah.
And he had a theatrical upbringing. Both his parents and step-parent, all actors, and it was, he left school early. He played the cheeky waiter in Crossroads when he was young.
What a credit.
He's done, he and I both have past youths in theatre. So when we met, it was another one of those people we were talking about, where you meet someone, it's quite pivotal.
Yeah.
You think, no, this will click.
Yeah.
And we found we shared the same sort of sense of humour.
Yeah.
Chris's sense of humour is even more cruel than mine. So it gets quite vicious at times, I think.
Yeah, but lovely. I think I remember saying to you once that actually I wanted to grow up like and be Nicholas Craig when I was young and at drama school.
Yes.
And here I am sitting opposite him. There you go.
Yeah. No,
That's right.
The amount of taking oneself so seriously is what. And I was working while we were filming. I remember once we were filming Nicholas Craig, and I was turning up later out, than the others, because I had another job, an acting job.
Yeah.
And I'd come in moaning about the other job, as all actors moan.
Yeah.
That's the collective noun for actors is a whinge, a whinge of actors. And so I was having my normal lunch break whinge, and Chris is giggling, Christopher Douglas, because he's writing it down he's just
Perfect.
writing down what I said.
That's
and putting
material
it in the script. Yes.
Yeah, great. Lovely. Oh, now that sound, Nigel, means that it's time to present you with your Quickfire 5. I'm going to ask you 5 either/or questions from the Gerry Anderson universe.
Right.
You need to quickly answer as quick as you can. Okay,
Right,
you ready for these?
I'm ready. I'm
right.
ready.
Firstly, you need a mode of transport. So, do you take Sheriff Tex Tucker's talking horse, Rocky, or Lady Penelope's Fab 1 Rolls Royce?
Fab 1.
Oh, right. Click off the mark. Who would you prefer to keep you company as you write the next Jeremiah Bourne book? Stingray's Aquamarina or Thunderbird's Brains?
Brains,
Oh.
even though it's tempting.
Yes.
I think he'd be more help.
Fair enough. Which moment of Gerry Anderson history would you love to witness for real? Humankind making contact with the Martians in Captain Scarlet, or the moon breaking away from Earth's orbit in Space 1999?
The former, the Martians. The moon breaking away sounds a bit
Very
drastic.
dramatic, yeah. Pick a thief to rehabilitate. Ruthless Ed Viney from Jeremiah Bourne in Time, or reformed bank robber and chauffeur to Lady Penelope, Aloysius Parker, milady.
I didn't know he was a bank robber.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll go for that one.
You go for Parker?
Yes. Although Ed Viney in Jeremiah Bourne is a very funny villain.
Sounds like a nasty piece of work.
He is a nasty piece of work. He's almost incomprehensible. His Cockney is so thick that Jeremiah has to keep stopping him and saying, "I'm sorry, what did you say? You sound like you're from the movies or something."
Lovely. And finally, you have to choose a colour from the Dulux paint range and become a Spectrum agent from Captain Scarlet. So, are you Captain Frosted Dawn or Lieutenant Sandy Steps?
Oh, Sandy Steps.
I can see, I knew you were going to say that.
Come on.
Well done, Nigel. That's your quick fire 5. Now, just before we go, just time for you to say where we can get Jeremiah Bourne in Time, the book, which has been out for 3 or 4 weeks. Where can we find that?
You can find it in bookshops. I always go these days. You can get it in Amazon, same as no, but these days there's something called hive.co.uk or hive.com. No, hive.co.uk or bookshop.org. Okay. And those are like Amazon. You can order online, but the good thing is they're connected up to all the local bookshops. So you can choose your own local bookshop and you're not putting bookshops out of business. Yeah. So I'd suggest Hive or bookshop.org.
Brilliant.
Just a better way of ordering online, personally.
And finally, where can our viewers and listeners find you online? Do you have any social media that we can follow you at?
Oh, I've got a website, nigelplaner.co.uk, which I try and keep up to date with news. Yeah. I'm on X.
Oh, yes, as it is now.
It's called X now, isn't it? But it's still got, does that mean we X? I don't know. I just tweeted. No, I didn't tweet. I X'd. Not sure. It doesn't sound right, does it? No, not really. Anyway, so I'm on that, Nigel Planer 1.
Okay.
I do have an Instagram, Nigel Planer 1, but I think the last time I put a thing up there was about 3 years ago.
Great.
And apart from that, there is a Facebook, the official Nigel Planer Facebook page, which is run by a guy called Ben Hill.
Yeah.
And he shoves everything in there, particularly to do with bad news, because he's a big bad news fan.
Great.
And I've also got recently, I'm on Patreon.
Oh, yes. I meant to mention
And
that, yes.
it's really cool because I found all of my archive of bits and pieces, some never broadcast, and anything I've ever done virtually.
Yeah.
And I converted it from CDs and videos digitally.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I got
Had
it
it done.
converted.
Yeah.
You had it done.
Yeah.
Digitally, and I'm putting it all up on my Patreon account gradually. Each week I try and remember to put some new piece up.
Yeah. Great.
And if you're a big Nicholas Craig fan, I've got a YouTube channel where I've put most of Nicholas Craig's on the YouTube channel as well. But there's some never broadcast bits of Nicholas Craig on my Patreon account.
Great. I've changed my shirt. You're wearing the same as...
I'm sorry, I haven't even washed it.
You haven't even watched it.
No.
Last time we spoke about your first Anderson memories, going back to Four Feather Falls in particular.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, latent memories of Twizzle, I think we...
Twizzle we uncovered.
Right,
that was strange. That's been buried there, for 60 years.
Yes, exactly. So last time we painted a picture of young Nigel Planer gathered around his TV to watch Four Feather Falls. Do you think back often as a person? Is it in your nature to be nostalgic?
Yeah, I think it is actually, yes.
Do you regret? Do you replay things that happened?
I used to do that. There's one or two that everyone's got, haven't they, that you think, oh, that was a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I was blessed in that I had a pretty nice childhood. I didn't think so at the time, but looking back, you think, cool, that was better than an awful lot I've seen since then.
Yeah, sure.
And in a nice suburb. And so I do look back and, hearing bird song, trees, the London, outer London, trees, bird song, and even the sound of aeroplanes in the distance going across will send you back.
Right.
Because that's what I must have heard in my pram.
Yes.
It's like,
yes,
as it disappears.
Yeah, amazing.
And wet, when the pavement's wet, the tyres, that sound, which is peculiar to London.
Absolutely, yeah.
Those sort of things
Wow.
really can trigger stuff off. Kind of smells, sounds.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff is...
And what about TV in particular? Because a lot of Gerry Anderson fans find kind of a nostalgic solace in watching programmes that they grew up with. Is there anything like that?
Yeah.
Or literature, perhaps, that you go back to again and again?
I wouldn't go and watch telly programmes from
you wouldn't
from
go
back
watch Twizzle
then.
again.
I certainly wouldn't go and watch Twizzle or Torchy or any of them, really.
Yeah.
Other than to see what they really look like, because it can be different from your memory. But yeah, literature-wise, I have hung on to two books. One's a Russian fairy story that I remember must have been read, where there's a mitten and there's one animal gets into it, then the next page. Is there room in your mitten? Yes, there is, and another, and it gets ridiculous.
Okay.
It gets full. And the other one's called Teddy Bear Coal Man.
Oh, right.
Which I can remember my gran reading to me, and it's just like Postman Pat.
Yeah.
It's a teddy bear who's a coal man, and he goes around the village and delivers to every single person. It's quite boring, but that really sort of, it's taped up, it's sellotaped up, but I've still got that.
And brings you a certain comfort when you need it somehow.
It's good. It's
funny,
good. Teddy Bear Coal Man does the trick.
So we spoke, about your early years last time. Let's move on until, I suppose, you became part of the public sort of sphere. I'm talking Comic Strip Presents in the 80s and the Young Ones, of course.
Yeah.
Comic Strip Presents was, I think it was started on stage, as it were. Is that right? Or
yes, we were. We started we all met at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And then absconded as a group and formed our own club, the Comic Strip.
Right. Because you work primarily with Peter Richardson, is that
Peter
right?
Richardson, who is the producer of the Comic Strip, and he's the one of the group who wasn't in the Young Ones.
Yeah.
But he's kind of we were two double acts, myself and Peter and Rick and Aid were double acts. Alexis Sale was the compere. And I'd been working with Peter since 1970, gosh knows. I mean, early 70s.
Yeah.
We met. And he, again, was, as we were talking last time about certain pivotal people, you meet somebody at that point. We met actually at Glastonbury Festival. I think it was the first or the second time, which wasn't like Glastonbury now.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough and ready.
Yeah.
And he was living in a van, parked up one end of Glastonbury. And there was a lot of sort of dumb hippies around. And it was good because we were both dumb hippies. But it was great to meet someone who he'd been to drama school. He knew who Ibsen was.
Right.
But he also knew who Frank Zappa was.
Right.
So you cling on to the people in those days. You think, oh, right, no, this is somebody who knows the stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
You know, who knows the same as me. So we started working together. We made a show called Rank, out of which came the character Neil.
Okay, right.
And several of the characters who later appeared in the comic strip.
Mm.
And then I sort of dared him to go down the Comedy Store. We started a double act. We wrote a double act called The Outer Limits, and we met all the other guys, which was another pivotal moment to meet all the other guys.
Yeah.
And then, we had a live show at the Comic Strip, which then, out of which came Young Ones and the Comic Strip series.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of people came to see us then. In those days.
So you found yourself then in a lineage from, of sort of anarchic humour from the likes of, Monty Python and Beyond the Fringe and so on, but also a particular double act that also forms part of your favourite Anderson characters, which we're going to take a look at.
Oh, good, yes.
Now, have a look at this.
Looking forward to this.
Telephone for you, milady. Yes, milady.
Why do you speak in that ridiculous accent?
It's the American idea of how the lower-class Britisher speaks, milady. Toodle pip water, go blimey. It's good for the tourist trade, milady.
Speaking of the tourist trade... Yes? Oh, I see. I've just discovered where Master Bourne plans to strike next.
Where, milady?
Anne Hathaway's cottage.
Yeah, there we are. Pete and Dad, of course. The inimitable Peter Cook Dudley Moore.
Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
Super Thunder Sting Car, that was, from 1965.
Super Thunder Sting Car.
That's it.
From when? 1965.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, 65, so I would have been 12 when that came out. And I did remember when I knew I was coming on this, asked, what do you remember?
Yeah.
Favourite characters, all of that.
Yeah.
The moment when Dudley Moore sits back down on the hammock and kicks the thing, that must have made me, as a 12-year-old, I would have sick through my nose.
Because I'm guessing you would have been familiar with Thunderbirds at that point.
Of course.
Yeah, and watched it, so this would chime with you immediately.
Absolutely brilliant.
What's interesting watching that is that, I would see a show like The Young Ones in the same way that you're looking at that.
Yes, yeah.
How does that make you feel? That from my point of view, you're absolutely part of that comedy thread that runs through our culture.
That's right. I think there's a comedy thread that goes back a long way, like a lot longer than people realise.
Yeah.
There's a scene in Aristophanes, so we're talking 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Two guys have decided to go down, a master and his servant, decided to go down to hell to sort out whether comedy is better than tragedy, and they're going to go and meet the writers. And they're going down to hell, where obviously all writers are. And they're on the way there, and the master's saying, "Go on, carry my bags." And the servant says, I can't carry them anymore. They're too heavy. When a couple of pallbearers go past carrying a body on its way to hell.
Yeah.
And they say to the pallbearers, "Look, you're carrying that. Could you carry the bags, for us?"
Yeah.
And the body sits up and says, "Yeah, that'll be 20 quid, please." And they say, 20 quid? You're joking. That's ridiculous, He says, "All right, I'll do it for a £5." And they put the bags on and he goes down. Now, that's written 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're talking, that could be a scene from The Young Ones.
Yes, absolutely good.
And so I do think you're right. There's a thread that goes, if it's funny like that, it's been going, this idea that we're the alternative comedians who changed it forever. I'm not so sure we did.
Right.
I think I'm more a believer in this,
the long game, as it were.
The long game, yeah. I mean, because it still makes you laugh. When you read that scene, in translation from 2,000 years ago, you think, "Oh, that's funny."
Yes, that's right.
So what's going on?
The popular idea of shows, people call it the alternative comedy scene in the 80s, but the likes of Lexi Sale and Young Ones and Comic Strip Presents and so on. The popular idea is that they were kicking against something, the previous form of comedy that was being considered at that point to be stale or a bit too theatrical. I don't know.
I mean, it did turn over a page, but it's only a page in a long book. Is the way I see it. It had got a bit stale. The comic strip and the comedy store, particularly, the branding was non-sexist, non-racist humour is what we were supposedly doing, because it had got a bit sexist and racist, and it had got also a bit dull. And so you're right to point out we were more in the tradition of Peter Cook, Dudley Moore, Monty Python than we were in the tradition of the sitcom or the Northern Comics who were doing the comedians was on telly. But the difference between us and the satire boom people was we weren't from Cambridge. We weren't from Cambridge and Oxford. And the things like Have I Got News for You and all of that. That's why I know Paul Merton isn't from Cambridge, but that kind of humour, not the 9 o'clock news, was still very, I'm cleverer than you type of comedy. So let's just show how clever we're all very, very clever because we've been to Cambridge. And the difference with us, we were different from them as well as from the sitcom. And I think the thing that I like about what we did is that we went and took it was clever what we were doing, and we put it into a sitcom. So we did what the Cambridge comedians couldn't and didn't do. It had more heart. The characters, people love the characters.
Absolutely.
Whereas the Mel Smith, Griff Rhys Jones, people do love Rowan's Mr. Bean. But on the whole, in the 9 o'clock news, you wouldn't say you just love the characters.
No, absolutely.
It's a satire.
That's right.
And people ended up loving Dudley Moore, didn't they? But when it was a satire, it's a slightly different thing. So we created a narrative using it. So it was. I mean, it was different in structure. It was different in form.
And then came Bad News, which you played. They say played. You were Den Dennis.
I was
Den
Dennis.
Lead guitarist, I think, for
rhythm guitarist. Adrian Edmondson's Vim Fuego would have been lead guitarist, lead vocalist.
And you toured and made albums with Brian May, I think, producing.
Yes, we did.
Did this, I mean, there's a sort of a musical thread throughout your career, really. I know you've been releasing songs on Bandcamp as well recently.
Yes, during the lockdown.
That's it. So did Dennis kind of scratch an itch to help you? Did you then become the rock star you always wanted to be secretly?
Well,
for a while.
No.
It's the short answer.
No is the short answer because with I know more sort of jazz chords, folk chords, and my singing is a bit too clean for Bad News. Mm-hmm. And so Adrian took the singing. I did the harmonies, the top harmonies, and I do the screeching noises, the heavy metal screeching noises. But I'm being Dennis, as you say. Yeah. So I played the way he would play, and everything about it is being that role. Yeah. Whereas musically, it's Adrian's taste. He wrote the scripts. Right. We wrote the songs together. Yeah. And I picked out old Velvet Underground riffs that I knew and changed them to make some of the songs, or various riffs I might have known, or blues things, or whatever. Yeah. There was one phrase nobody knows I've just nicked completely from the band, actually, in one of the Bad News songs. I mean, not enough to be copyrighted.
No,
but,
careful.
Sort of inspired by that kind of music that I could play at the time. Yeah. And Adrian, I think, is more like the band Free, or, more sort of brassy than me. I'm more jazzy.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it's quite good. And with Neil as well, I had a hit single to sort of play at being a pop star without having to take the consequences.
And then an album produced by Dave Stewart, no less. I mean, so
yes, not Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics, Dave Stewart of Dave Stewart and Barbara Gaskin, equally who sort of prog rock outfit, with some amazing musicians on that Neil album. Yeah. From the Caravan. From Caravan, we had somebody from Caravan. We had somebody from the Canterbury scene. We had quite a lot of proper musos on my comedy album.
Amazing.
It was rather marvellous.
Just before we answer some more questions from our viewers and listeners, I just want to talk very quickly about a series that was one of my favourites growing up, and that's Shine on Harvey Moon. Set in the 1950s, 1940s,
the
just
original
after
1947.
That's it.
Harvey Moon is returning from the war. Yeah. He's brought a sort of clumsy mate of his with him who's actually got nowhere to stay. Yeah. Who's Lou Lewis, which was my part. And he goes back. His wife is no longer very interested. It's been a long time. He's been away 6 years. Yeah. And they haven't had a sort of heroic war. They've been working in a storeroom in Mumbai for 6 years. Yeah. And he returns to, it's quite a heart-rending story because he returns to nothing.
An indifferent wife. I remember Maggie Steed, who really wasn't very interested in him when he returned.
Absolutely indifferent. She's been consorting with American GIs. Yeah. His daughter and his son, he's very keen to see his son, and the subconscious at work again. I've got two sons who are called Stanley and Harvey.
There you go.
And
could have been Twizzle and Torchy, so that's
exactly.
They've got away lightly.
We're winning there. But both times I chose the names without remembering. It wasn't conscious. Yeah. The subconscious at work again.
That's right. And as you say, set immediately after the Second World War. I know a bit before your time but was that a world you sort of recognised from your earlier years?
There was a lot I recognised. Yeah. The woolen socks, the shorts, the sleeveless jerseys, the grey, the fact that it was so grey, and the scullery, the kitchen where Nan, played by Liz Spriggs, would be working away. It was all quite grim. And then as the series went on, we got to 1953. Yes. And I did, that was very recognisable to me because I was born in 1953. Yeah. The little houses, and in fact, on the set, there was old phone directories. I don't know if you remember them, with the thin pages, list of numbers for London.
Right.
So I went and looked up Planer. And there was my dad, my uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the numbers I could remember. And my grand. It's not a common name. There weren't lots of them.
Yeah.
And there we were, 1953.
Amazing.
Or, you know.
Did you take it? I would.
I'm not going to own up to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Just before we explore your career even further, Nigel, it's time to get your specs out, if you will.
Oh,
because,
yeah, thank you.
some
Yeah, I
more,
need the specs.
More questions have been sent in. These are generally from our Facebook group, which, of course, you can join if you're at home and on Facebook. Just search for Podstrons or official Gerry Anderson Podcast listeners group, and you can put your questions there for future guests.
This one's from Michael Bontiff.
Oh, yes.
What is a character you'd like to play or production you would like to be part of? Every actor has a part they would love to play one day. Well,
right.
I can test that, Michael Bontiff. I don't think I do have a part that I would like to play one day. As I was saying earlier, the thing that I really like is making a character up that can then go through various media. That's really good fun.
Right.
And the whole thing about being offered a part is, as I say, when you make a connection with it, how can I be that person? And the whole challenge is, what have I got to do to be that person? And I spend a lot of time, particularly on appearances. Is my hairline changed? Just how would I feel? What would I go back to? So it's a real old, like a methody thing to try and that's the challenge. That's the excitement. Is how can I change myself or imagine myself different?
Yeah.
And therefore, I don't see it like,
Rich the Third,
something like that. I mean, occasionally I see things like, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that part. I could see myself as that part. Yeah. But it's not something I'm thinking, that's the part that
I'm waiting for.
That I'm waiting for some part. Because I suppose the only ones I'd be waiting for are ones like that I could create now. What have I been doing the last 20 years that would be the perfect character for?
Gotcha. Let's have another question from the lunchbox.
But maybe I'm not a proper actor.
I mean, you said that, not me, Nigel.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a cheat.
Aren't we all?
This is from John Jackson. Hello, John. Did you think when making The Young Ones that you were putting the nail in the coffin of the traditional sitcom and things would never be the same again?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I saw you live in Wicked and you were brilliant. I just thought I'd read that last
bit. Yeah, of course. I'm surprised you didn't read that bit first.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, John. Well, I mean, we kind of talked about this a bit before.
Yeah.
We were putting the nail in the coffin of certain things that we were rebelling against. No denying that. But to say that, but I don't agree that things would never be the same again. Right. I think, in fact, they're remarkably similar to how they were. But we were. I mean, I know someone, and her dad used to write a very famous sitcom, and she was telling me that when The Young Ones came out, he came downstairs the next day. He said, "You've got to watch this." He said, "The game's up."
Oh, yes. Right, yeah.
Which is pretty...
Absolutely.
And I felt, you feel terrible. You think, what, the game's up for this other guy who wrote all this funny material? That's terrible.
Yeah. One more, and then we'll move on to another project of yours that has a slight Gerry Anderson association.
Robert Monk asked, what inspired you to become an actor?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a difficult one to answer as well, because it's a long time ago. I'm 70 years old, and it's, I can remember back to being 8 and putting on shows and just thinking about nothing else.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to think, well, I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah. So there wasn't a particular moment or a particular person? There wasn't a flash of light at any point?
Not really, it just
Yeah.
seemed like the most natural thing.
Yeah.
What we did at school, we did have a very wonderful teacher who called Lenny. We called him Lenny. Who read to us in English. If you had English with him, that'd be great. He'd read you, but way above your level.
Yeah,
So he could
yeah,
read
I see.
some Dickens when you were too young, or like proper things.
Yeah.
And then he'd read a bit of it just when you were into it. He'd say, "No, I'm not reading any more of that now."
Right.
To really get your interest. And
Clever.
he wrote the school plays and put them on. And he did truncated Shakespeare's for us. Even we did, which were never that. This is like I'm talking 12. These early on.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing he did was he had a puppet theatre.
Right.
Which they put at when the parents came to watch the school Shakespeare, whatever it was, there was also a puppet show that he'd written, which was comedy.
Yeah.
And it was a fairy story. You do comedy Cinderella or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd had the puppets, and me and my brothers had a collection of string puppets.
Mm-hmm.
So my elder brother had done the puppet show, and shamefully I inherited it from him. So I had no other qualifications other than he was my brother,
Fine.
which is terrible.
Nepotism never hurts.
Yes, terrible to admit. And I was put in charge of the puppet show, and you could do funny voices because it was required.
Yeah.
There was the witch puppet, which I made the head for.
Yeah.
So I remember, because we make puppets as well. Had a sort of total freak out, going crazy, which got big laughs, and it was puppets were very important.
Yeah.
We had string puppets,
Yeah.
and if you wanted a treat, at Christmas you'd say, "Can I get It was Pelham puppets.
Pelham puppets, famously, yeah.
And then we had a few, but also we made some, and Lenny would have some.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal.
Right.
And when my mum and dad moved house, much later on, I was in some West End show, and she said, "We've got to clear out." And some of these are going back to, it was a sailor who was a Pelham puppet going back to, I think it was the first, sort of really looked like a 1950s one.
Yeah, yeah.
But some of them were quite sophisticated.
Yeah.
They got quite, through the 60s, they got better.
Yeah.
And I sold a load of them to Pollock's Toy Museum because I thought we haven't got space for all this. And I'm not going to play with them. And they're so outdated now, the string puppets. They get tangled so easily.
Yeah.
And and there were two at the end, and I saw a film, don't know if you know it, by Richard E. Grant, who, and he wrote it and directed it.
Yes.
It's about his childhood.
I know of
it,
it,
It's called Wah-Wah.
That's it, yeah.
And he was, quite a difficult childhood in Africa.
Mm.
And the one thing this kid has is Nicholas Hoult, who's now playing the Emperor in The Great, played Richard E. Grant. And he has the one thing he's got in this sort of lonely childhood is these puppets, these string puppets. It's a very, very moving film. It's really upsetting film.
Interesting.
And he's a kid. The only thing he's got is these string puppets.
Yeah.
And I just thought this film was wonderful. Yeah. So I wrote to Richard and I gave him two of our puppets. He's probably gone, "Oh no, not more puppets."
People keep sending me these puppets just because I did that film.
Yeah, just because I did the film, and he's
right.
probably sold them to Pollux himself now, for all I know.
Great.
But anyway, I found the film so moving that, and there were these puppets, and they meant a lot to us and me and my brothers as well. Yeah. So
interesting.
So I gave a couple of them. I think I gave the Sailor to him and one other. I can't remember exactly, but
yeah. Now, one other of your projects I just want to touch on before we say goodbye was something I think from the late 1980s, early 90s, which, I was having a look at this earlier, and there's one or two Gerry Anderson references in there as well. So,
yes.
Just have a look at this.
Oh, goody, someone must have heard me. I'd almost given up hope.
You're in safe hands, madam. This is an international rescue operation. FAB OK from Blunderbird 3, etc., said Dougal. La 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 la, la 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 la. This requires some serious thought. Ooh, take it away, Brains, said Brian. Well, Mr. Tracy, it's a long shot, but by securely attaching a vessel containing a projectile, we might just be able to reverse this irreversible situation irreversibly. You must be joking, said Brian. What, and miss the chance of being the hero of the day and drinking a toast with Lady Penelope? Said Dougal. Well, in that case, Thunder Slugs, I'll go, said Brian.
There we go.
Yes.
We spoke about this earlier, Nigel.
Yeah.
And when I initially got in touch with you about coming to join us on the podcast, you said, well, I mean, I don't know a lot about Gerry Anderson, but there we are.
There we are, which I wrote in the early 90s and did all the voices.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, so how did Magic Roundabout come about? I think originally I think it was a French series given to Eric Thompson in the 60s or 70s to revoice.
Right. That's right.
Apparently, what he wrote may or may not bear any resemblance to the original stories.
It bears no resemblance at all. What he did was just put the sound down and play the images. The original characters, I've seen it. Dylan, for example, they're talking. Different actors playing them all.
Yeah.
Dougal is called Pollux. They've all got different names. It's a different series.
And so what was your starting point? Did you have to take that as your starting point, or were you given free rein to reinvent it again?
Eric Thompson died, I can't remember when, but in the 80s, I think, sadly. And they found 100 or more episodes that were still Serge Dano's company owned that he hadn't done yet. And Channel 4 bought them.
Right.
And I did a little sort of audition sample.
Yeah.
I went in and I actually had to go in with my script. They sent me a video. Yeah. This is before technology. and read it out loud to them to show them how I'd do it. And they said, well, off you go. And I ended up writing over 100 episodes and voicing them.
And how long would each
What
one...
a treat.
Yes, I'm sure.
Because the characters Eric Thompson had created are superlative. You know, they're just, you can't get better. Yeah. And they're crazy pictures. Yeah. You know, and so it was fun. It was quite hard. I think by the end, I got kind of what I call Dougal blind. And I roped in my younger brother, Rog, to assist with some of the scripts. He also wrote a few of these because there was a lot.
And how long did it take you to record each episode?
Interesting, because on the first day to get it right, because you're doing the narration and all the voices, and you're having to watch the screen. So in that extract we just saw, he goes, "Oh, you must be joking," said Brian. Yeah. But you've got to have that over the shot of him. Yes. You can't do it later or earlier. So it's quite precise. So the first day, I think we recorded 2 or 3 episodes, maximum 3, certainly 2, treading with care. Yeah. By the time we were up and running, months and months later, my record was 13 episodes in one day. Wow. To record, which is, if you've ever done any voice work, that's pretty good.
Extraordinary, amazing. Yeah, wonderful, great. Now, just before we say goodbye to you, Nigel, we have a little game that we like to play with our guests.
Oh, not another game.
Yes, I'm sorry, it won't take long. This is called Cute, Mute, or Recruit.
Cute, Mute, Recruit.
That's it. Now, we're trying to create our own international rescue team. Okay?
Good.
And so far, our guests have chosen Space 1999's Professor Birdman and Stingray's Aquamarina as part of our little group, so that's quite good. But our last guest, Lee Sullivan, chose these 3 characters from the Gerry Anderson universe. I want you to imagine that they've just followed you on Twitter or any social media app of your choice, and you have to choose which one you would like to mute, never hear from again, which one you think is cute, and which one you'd like to recruit for your international rescue.
And recruit, they have to be useful.
They have to be useful, yes. Your first character is Professor Popkiss from Supercar.
Professor Popkiss, didn't he talk in the foreign accent?
You got it, that's it.
Yes.
He's still up there, Nigel.
Professor Popkiss.
Cute, mute, or recruit?
Well, but I don't know what the other two are.
Mike Mercury, the pilot of Supercar.
Yeah, pretty good too.
Maya, the shape-shifting metamorph. Who would you mute? Who would you recruit? Who is cute?
Maya is very cute.
She's cute.
She's very cute,
Right.
but not part of our team.
No, so who would you mute and who would you recruit out of Professor Popkiss, Mike Mercury?
And who we got so far? We've got
Professor Bergman from Space 1999.
we've already got a professor.
We have.
Right.
And we've got Aquamarina from Stingray.
So although I really like this professor,
Yes.
and I could even do his voice,
Yes, you can.
I think I should mute him because we need
Mike
pilot.
Mercury.
We haven't got a pilot yet.
We're recruiting Mike Mercury
We're recruiting Mike Mercury.
as part of our team. Thank you so much. Now, just before you go, just take 3 random cards for the next guest. We won't disclose who they are, but we will present those to Roland Moore, who's joining us next time.
Rightio.
See which he would like to mute, recruit, or is cute. So pass them to me.
Don't recognise. Don't recognise.
Don't recognise.
Don't recognise.
Right.
Good luck, Roland, is all I can say.
And just before we go, tell us a few more words about where we can find Jeremiah Bourne in Time, your new book, just out over the last few weeks.
You can find it in all the normal places like Amazon, but I personally like hive.co.uk because that distributes out via local bookshops, so you're not harming the local bookshop trade.
Great. Excellent. Thank you so much for coming to see us. It's been a pleasure to see you again, Nigel, and thank you for joining us.
Absolute pleasure
here in
to
Slough.
come and find so much stuff that's in there that maybe it'll be purged
That's
now.
it. That's it.
Yes.
It's like a cathartic experience, we hope. Thank you so much. Nigel Planer, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.